How to get the fucking money. Take fucking action. Subscribe now. So you got a dream. You have a business idea. You want to pursue it, but you need capital, right? So we said it's almost impossible to start a business without capital. But it does not prevent you from finding sources of capital that are not yours. You can always find other people's money to fund your dreams. So today I'm going to talk about 9 ways to find sources of capital so that you can make your dreams come true. So number one and the most common way of funding your dreams is through friends and family, or what I call them fools. Usually they do this out of love. Usually they do this because they want to support you, not necessarily because your idea is great. Probably it's shit, but they do it because they love you. So this is what I call fool's money. So if you have deep-pocketed friends or deep-pocketed family, then you're gonna be on a good start. Number 2, you can fund your project through credit cards. I don't know what the situation here is in Vietnam. I know I have Vietnamese credit cards, but let's say in Canada, usually they let you borrow money in advance at very high interest rate. So the interest rate could be 16, 18, 20% annually. But usually people have a line of credit on their credit card. For example, me, on my credit cards, I have up to $60,000, $80,000 line of credit. So that's a easy way for me to access cash when I need cash. So if you have a number of these credit cards, it could fund your dream, but knowing that the interest rate will be high. This is a short-term solution to your funding issue. Number 3, angel investors. Don't let the name fool you. Angel investors are not angels at all. If anything, I think they are the devil. Don't be disillusioned thinking that they're here to help you. No, angel investors, like any other investors, they're looking for return on their money. And I'm not talking about interest rate. I'm talking about when they give you their money, they want to make sure that that money comes back to them. The principal will come back to them. It will not just go missing, disappear. You're not going to burn it. So usually how they do it is they have additional clause in the term sheet, in the contract, that if you don't perform to a certain level, then they can do certain things to your company. So there's a lot of tools and techniques that they can use to ensure you perform. Otherwise, they're going to own your company. Angel investors are not angels. They are devil. But there's a lot of angel investors. They're everywhere. They're around the globe. If you Google, you'll find that there are a lot of angel investors across different continents that you can contact and access. And so that's one way to fund your project. Number 4, factors. So factors are companies that loan you the money based on some future contract. So I'll give you an example. So let's say my company does business with, say, Price Waterhouse, big company, Price Waterhouse. And they have this $2 million contract with Price Waterhouse. And but the money is not in my bank yet because it's work yet to be performed. So that money might come in, say, in 6 months or in 8 months, but I can use that receivable and go to a factor, and they will loan me the money with the account receivable from Price Waterhouse as a collateral. So this is one way to get your cash flow going. So let's say you need money to fund your operation, your business, but you don't get the money in some future date, you can use that receivable to get a loan to cover your cash flow. Number five. Number five is a really good one. It's government. So I'll give you an example. COVID-19. So the government of Vietnam has set up funds to help small businesses. So there's, I don't know, I can't remember what the number is, but it's a large number that they have allocated to help small businesses. So you have to look at the government decree. You have to look at how they're distributing that money to small businesses. You have to apply for it. If you don't apply, you don't get. If you don't ask, you don't get. So you have to look up this information and see how you can apply for this money. Other than that, depending on what kind of project you are working on, what kind of dream you want to fulfill, there is also the International Monetary Fund and there's the World Bank. So these are international agencies and they have policies to help third world countries. And Vietnam is a third world country, whether we like it or not. And that means that for certain projects, it would qualify for funding from these international organizations. So look into those directions if you have projects that those international agencies would fund. And they would generally fund projects that have some socio-economic value. You're helping society. Number 6, incubators. Incubators are funds managed by investors or large corporations. So incubators look for potential projects that they believe will be very successful in the future. So they're looking for projects that are at its very early stage. Maybe the product is not even finished. Maybe the product development is not even done. And they look at the small group of people. They look at the potential of the project. And when they see potential, what they do is they offer help. They offer you help training on how to run a business, how to do product development, how to do marketing, how to do sales. So they try to teach you all the knowledge that you need to run a successful company. And in return, they get a small equity portion of your business. So this is generally a very good way for starting entrepreneurs. They don't know too much yet, and they need more people, resources. You can join an incubation program, and they can give you all the help you need. And they will also take a small portion of your equity. That's actually a quite good deal for entrepreneurs that are starting out. Number 7, commercial banks. So we're talking about Sacombank, Vietcombank, Techcombank, those type of institutions, and they basically make money by lending money, right? So commercial banks make money by lending money. So they have to get the money out to people, collect interest in order for them to be profitable. So what this means is that banks actually need to lend out the money. They don't lend it out to anyone. They also look at the financial risk. They only want to lend out to people or businesses or projects that they believe that there is a return on investment, that if they lend out the money, they will collect the interest, right? They're not going to just give you the money and not expect anything in return. Commercial banks generally lend, I think in Vietnam, it's like 6 to 8%, roughly in that range. In the United States, Canada, it's like 1% or less. And in some parts of Europe, the interest rate can be negative. So it's actually a very interesting situation that, you borrow money from the bank and the bank actually pays you to borrow the money. All true, right? So even at 6 to 8% interest rate, if you look at inflation, if you look at the currency exchange, it's actually a very, very good, it's a very good way to get your capital, because assuming that you have a very interesting project that the bank would want to lend you money, because money is practically free. If you factor in inflation, if you factor in currency exchange against the US dollar, that money is practically free. So they basically give you this money for free, right? So that's my preferred way, financing my dreams using debt. Number 8, venture capitalists. So these are investors. They're professional investors. They're looking for companies, generally more mature companies, not your startups, not your companies without a product, still building it. These are investors looking for more mature businesses, and they're buying the cash flow. So they look at a business, they see that it's making money, and they take the money, the margin, and they multiply that by a factor, say 2 or 5 or 10, based on what industry they're in. So for example, if it's a software company, right, they would look at how much money it makes, multiply that by, say, 15, and then that's how much they would pay for that company. Venture capitalists buy mature companies to get its cash flow. Venture capitalists generally would buy companies that are related industries so that they can build synergy between those businesses and also make more money in return. Number 9, crowdfunding. So crowdfunding is a more recent development, probably just in the last 10 years because of the internet. Internet is very powerful. It allows people to get together and do things together, including funding. So let's say if you have a product that you want to build and it's a very interesting product and people would want it, you put that product through crowdfunding. There are many crowdfunding sites, and people would actually buy into, like, they would actually pay you money to build that product. That's one way to to fund your dream, by taking your project online for people to look at, and if they like it, they vote with their wallet. They invest money into your project by paying you. And if you have like 10,000 people paying you a small amount of money, and that accumulates into a lot of money for you to complete that project. So here are 9 ways for you to get the fucking money. So if you say that it's really difficult to find capital, it's really difficult to find the money to fund your dream, and I tell you, it's bullshit, because commercial banks need to get the money out. Venture capitalists need to get the money out. Incubators need to get the money out. Government need to get the money out. Angels need to get the money out. There's a lot of people with money that need to get the money into the right hands so that they can get a return on investment. So in this video, we talk about the sources where you can get the fucking money. So in future videos, I will talk about how specifically can you access those money. I want 250 subscribers to my channel. Not a very difficult ask. When I get 250 subscribers to my channel, I will publish a video about how to access the money from all these sources. Don't be a fucktard. Take fucking action.